Alrighty, y'all, we're going to keep going here with lesson 1.7, how to multiply rational numbers. So the goal today, in today's lessons, we're going to apply what we have learned about multiplying integers, and we're going to apply that to rational numbers. So everything we've learned about integers, such as our same signs, such as a positive times a positive or a negative times a negative, giving us a positive product, or our different signs, a negative times a positive and a positive times a negative, giving us a negative product. So we're going to use what we've learned in integers, and we're going to keep applying that to rational numbers. All right, so we're just going to jump straight into the examples today. So we want to start off by finding negative 5/6 times 2/5. All right, so remember, when we're multiplying fractions, this is something that troubles a lot of people here. And I say a lot because my 8th graders struggle with it, so I'm assuming 7th graders do too. So when we multiply fractions, we just multiply straight across. So we do numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator, or top number times top number over bottom number times bottom number. So this would be negative 5 times 2 over 6 times 5. So let's look at that negative 5 times positive 2. So do we have same signs there, or do we have different signs? To me, it looks like we have different signs. So that means my product, or my answer, is going to be negative. And then 5 times 2 is 10. And that'll be over 6 times 5, which is equal to 30. Now at this point, if you guys want to reduce, we could obviously simplify this to 1/3. However, I've never been a big one on reduced fractions, so I won't get too mad at you if you don't do it. All right, so that was part A there. Now notice we had two fractions, right? So what happens if we have a fraction and a decimal? Can we just straight up multiply these together? The answer is no. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to convert one of them to the other version. So in my opinion, it's much easier to multiply fractions together than decimals. So I say we start by by changing this negative 0.30 or negative 3/10 into a fraction. Hopefully I just gave you guys the answer there and you're able to see it. This decimal is in our tens column. So that means we just have to put that number over 10. So I get negative 3/10 times negative 11 over 30. All right, we got to multiply straight across here. So do we have same signs or different signs? To me, it looks like we have two negative values. So two negative values is going to yield a positive product or a positive answer. Now, 3 times 11 is 33. And 10 times 30, we're just going to add a 0 to 30 because we're multiplying by 10. So we'll get positive 33 over 300. All right, again, we could simplify this here, divide both sides by 3 rather. 33 divided by 3 is 11, and 300 divided by 3 is 100. So we could get 11 100ths. All right, last one for us here. Since the last time I did multiplying by fractions together, this one let's do multiplying by decimals. Remember, we got to convert this into a decimal here. So I have negative 2.5 times negative 7 over 10. That will convert to negative 0.7. Just like how this one went to 3/10, this one would go to negative 0.7, be the opposite. So when we multiply by decimals, what we do is we just line up as if we were to do regular multiplication. We'll multiply here. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry the 3. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 3 will be 17. So I get 175. Now, how do we know where to put our decimals? So what we do is we have to count how many decimal places we started with. Here I have 1, 2 decimal places. So down here I should have 1, 2 decimal places, which means I should put a dot after the 1 and between the 7. So my answer here would be 1.75. Now we should ask ourselves, is this a positive 1.75 or a negative 1.75? Well, if we look at our original problem here, I had a negative number times a negative number, which means we have the same sign, so our product will be positive. Alrighty, continuing on with the examples here. We want to find the price of an ENXV stock that is dropping at a rate of $1.45 per hour. So what is this rate as a negative number? This would be negative 1.45 times our number of hours. So how much has it dropped after 5 hours? Well, we need to do negative 1.45 times 5. I'm just going to go to my calculator here, but you could multiply this yourself. So we got 1.45 times 5, which would be 7.25. So it has dropped $7.25 or negative 7.25. All right, guys, I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to have to pause this video, and we're just going to do a quick finish up on a second video here. It should only be a couple of seconds.